In today's gospel, Jesus is like almost struggling to bring in the human words the image or the concept of the kingdom of God. How should he describe this heaven, this kingdom of God to each of us? And he says, kingdom of God or this heaven is like the little mustard seed. The mustard seed which is so small, tiny, almost insignificant. But when sowed, put in ground, can become a shrub or a tree, can extend its branches, and birds of the air can find a home and shelter in these branches. Maybe it wasn't that effective and still not covering everything. He gives us still another example. He says, kingdom of God is like yeast. Yeast which is being mixed with the flour, the dough. It's so insignificant, so little which is mixed with so much of the measure of the flour. But it leavens, it impacts the whole of the dough. Now something for us to ponder. These so insignificant things, whether it's the mustard seed or whether it's the yeast, what do they matter? If this mustard seed is remaining just a seed, does that make any difference to any person? It just remains as a seed. So when it gets grounded, sprouts, spreads its branches, there is where people start seeing effect and impact. Others start finding shelter. The same is with the yeast. If this yeast remains yeast on its own, no one knows about this yeast, doesn't get mixed in anything, whether it's little yeast or a bulk of yeast, can it make any difference? So it's in reaching out to others, in trying to mix with others, in trying to be for others, it can be so much of significance. To understand a little more, if there is a gold mountain and no one ever knows about this mountain, no one have ever seen this gold, it's worth maybe millions and billions, but it did not come across any human person. It remains gold and it remains mountain, but it has its value only when someone observes it, someone evaluates it. Now these so insignificant things can be so much and so much of significance. Our little actions which can at times go unnoticed. You never know whose life these little actions are going to change, who will transform. It's not only when something is done on a grand scale, when something goes published, when something is so much promoted. It's each little individual action, like that mustard seed, which if it is there on the ground, on the road, no one will ever notice it. But can so many people find shelter in that little action? Can someone even transform their lives with your insignificant action? So insignificant doesn't remain insignificant forever. When it is being spread out, when you reach out to somebody, this insignificant becomes the most significant thing. So don't give up in what others observe as insignificant. It's been inspired to you, it's been given to you, and you are to make a difference in the world. And Jesus is saying, this is how the kingdom of God is like. This is how heaven is like. When everyone tries to give to the other person this little insignificant things, it can just be so great that the world can be like heaven. Let us ask for God's grace to put out our little insignificant actions throughout the day. See what you can do, not what great thing you can do, what the smallest thing that you can do to someone else today.